Hello Leo, welcome back to Path of Enlightenment Tarot. For those of you returning to the channel, welcome back, and for those of you who are new, welcome. I am Nicole. Leo, thank you guys for sticking around. I know it's been a minute since I've gotten a reading out to you all. I took a little bit of a hiatus at the end of 2023, much needed. Some congestion today all of a sudden going on, so bear with my sniffles here as I'm trying to, I don't know what's going on. Something that always happens to me for some reason. But Leo, this will be your weekly read, January 8th through the 14th. This will be for your sun, your moon, your rising, and your Venus cross watcher. If that's you, welcome to the channel as well. Guys, discern the messages. You know, you've been here before, you know how it works, right? If you read tarot yourself or intuitive, like, you know how it rolls. So I'm going to leave it at that. So, Leo, I feel like, I'm going to call it preparing for battle. Like, you're stepping out of the light into, like, I don't know, like the need to conquer something or go on about something. I'm not sure what that energy is about, and we're gonna, you know, dive into the cards here and see what comes up for you guys. But I don't know, I feel like you're just riding on hope and a prayer on something here. I don't know what it's about. So let's see what comes up. I don't know, like there's just this energy of conviction in what you're working on or working towards. Okay, so let's see. Energy of conviction. Spirit, what does Leo need to know this week? January 8th through the 14th, please. Specialization. That card came out for Cancer, I think, maybe? Cancer or Pisces? Alchemy. Telling you, it's like revolution. Ready but waiting. I'm telling you, like there's something here, right? That it's like you're ready to take on something new. You're ready to, it's like you're lit up, you're fired up, you're inspired, you're ready to play. And Spirit just said hardball. You're ready to play hardball with something or somebody. Spirit is also saying fierce competition. I kind of feel like you're staring down any adversary is what I'm hearing. Like it's, stop. Like you're just putting an end to something here, and whatever's on the other side of that, I feel like intuitively they could be like a gabber. They may like to talk a lot. They may like to tell you what's on their mind. They could be very strong belief, strong-headed, stubborn kind of energy. And you may have sat back and listened to this dynamic for some time, right? Like letting them run at the gums. I think I have to sneeze. There it is. Fantastic. Okay, confirmation. But I feel like you've kind of sat back and let whatever this is, just whether this is work, life, family, whatever, and you've let them kind of have their way. And now all of a sudden it's just like, I've heard enough. I've seen enough. We're not doing this, right? And it's, you know, and funny, I say listen, and there it is. You've had to listen. That light's hard, huh? You've had to listen to that for a while. Kind of sitting back reserved, just paying attention to whatever this is. And what's on the other? Yeah, reaction. They're gonna feel you're cutting them off at the knees, Leo. Whoever this is, whatever this is, they've had their way, whether it's with you or a situation pertaining to you for some time. And there's something about it that I feel like you didn't want to leave a lighthearted energy. You didn't want to leave this feeling of what felt good to you. And I don't really think that you are. I just don't think you anticipated or wanted to take the action of putting an end to something. Like they could just be very negative in their approach to things or whatever, and very bully. Like they feel bullyish to me. And like, no sir, no ma'am, like we're not doing this. And I feel like this person could play the victim. They could be boo-hooing to you. And I almost feel like, Leo, you're stepping into a space of power that says, have you looked at yourself? Like, I feel like you may be holding your own self accountable in your own world right now, and you're starting to recognize the people outside of you that do these things, that they don't hold themselves accountable. They don't take a long, hard look at themselves to understand why things turn out the way that they do. So, you know, you could be disrupting their boohoo, essentially, right? Like, that's kind of how that feels. So let's see, what else for Leo this week? January 8th through the 14th. January 8th through the 14th, Spirit. What does Leo need to know? 8th through the 14th. You know, for some of them, they may use their age as an excuse, too. Well, I'm too old to change my ways. I'm too old for this. I'm too old for that. That's the way I was taught. Like, they are, you know, and I keep talking about these belief systems since I started doing the readings again in 24. It's like, you may be half of their age. They could be in their 40s. They might be younger. I don't know. Or, I mean, older. You could be younger. And it's like, you're listening to this. And it's like, you have so many options available to you. Why? And I don't, there's something about this. It's almost like a mirroring effect, Leo, that it's like triggering you, or you have just experienced something where you're taking that accountability. And you kind of see maybe where you were, maybe even 6 months ago, 3 months ago, 2 weeks ago, who knows? Where it's like you're pulling back the empathy. You're getting a little cold. It's kind of Queen of Swords, King of Swords kind of energy of, you know, I'm removing my emotion from this and going, this doesn't even make sense anymore. There's something about the way you're viewing things that says, no more of this. And then you're seeing other people act a certain way. And it's like, Jesus, was that me 6 months ago? Was that me 2 weeks ago? Like, whew, that's ucky. That doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel good. So, sorry, a little sniffle since since I sneezed. But you're holding back. Like, where you used to be compassionate towards people and maybe living in their boohoo with them, or living in your own boohoo kind of world, Leo, I don't think you're doing that anymore, because you're seeing a higher perspective, a higher knowledge with this temple path. Like, you're seeing how it all incorporates together, and ultimately how it can be self-sabotage when we sit in that energy. But you're definitely dealing with somebody, and this could be family too. Spirit's bringing up the aspect of family, that this could be like, your mom could have been this way, your grandmother could have been this way, your dad could have been that way, your grandfather could have been that way. You know, maybe you have a brother or something. I don't know why they're giving me that, but your brother could be this way. And it's just like, dude, that's enough. Like, do you hear yourself? And I do. I just kind of feel like you're stepping out into it, going, and I think part of it too, Leo, is the fact that, like, you may have never really kind of pushed back that way before, so they just always expected you to listen and side with them and stick beside them and make them feel validated on something that really was a bullshit scenario, right? It's something they're making up in their own world. Geez, way too many cards. That would make them feel like they were right and the world was against them, right? Victim mentality. So I just feel like you're kind of pulling back from that, going, like, no, been there, done that. Like, I know how this works, and you're not bullshitting me. And Queen of Pentacles, the Five of Swords, like, there's deception that sits in this. They may feel like, you know, they may appear to be kind of like a know-it-all energy. They could appear to be, they present themselves in the sense that they're very well put together, and you know better. And I think that's part of, like, it's a frustration within you. And I think it's also about you recognizing your own demons, in the idea that you may have seen this isn't interesting. Okay, so I've had this come up before here recently, just in general processes that I work through. It's like, maybe you've seen yourself with, like, amongst a certain group. Like, I'm gonna break it down to, like, high school, right? You had, like, the cliques, right? You had the preppies, and then you had, like, the outcasts, and then you had, like, the jocks, and you had all those different things, right? And I think at some point, Leo, you kind of labeled yourself into a space where you fit into a certain group. And, there's like the hierarchy or the patriarchy of how those groups were kind of ranked, right? Like these people had money and they were prestigious and they were going to be doctors and lawyers and they were better than this group of people. Like we all know how that works, right? Whether it's in our lives as adults or whether it was in high school. Sadly enough, some adults still play that game. But I feel like at some point you started to identify with a certain group of people. And now you're realizing that that's not it. Like you can still be a part of something, but still be very, very different. Like you are your own unique individual. And I feel like this is kind of tied to what you feel that you've been worthy of, or what it is, like all the more that you could achieve. So as you're having these ahas, these epiphanies, these realizations, and you're watching somebody else's behavior tied to you, you're like, this is not, like, look at them, they're 20 years older than me. Like, look at that person. That's where they are. That's not where I want to be when I'm that age. So it's kind of like you're using this as a sense of comparison, but you're also standing in your power going, I don't want to hear this shit anymore. Like, I don't want to hear you boo-hoo about something that you created in your world, that you're the one who has the control to change it. And it's like, I'm done listening. Like, oh, I get it now. Now I see. And it's also reflecting something within you back to you, or maybe you had self-sabotaging tendencies and broke up your own stability in some way. So there's just kind of like something within somebody is reflecting back to you. It's getting under your skin. It's triggering you for a reason, for your own sake of evolution. And it's kind of like that revolutionary card that we've seen is like, you're going to do it different this time around. Now you're seeing yourself in a completely different light because you're growing, you're evolving. Now you're understanding how you're growing and evolving, what area you're growing and evolving in, and then watching this other person or other people or these groups who they don't see the way forward. They don't get it. It's like the light bulb in their head is not clicking, and you're just sitting there going, oh my gosh, like, I see this. How can you not? They're unawakened, Leo. You're waking up and they're still sleeping. Okay? So this adjacent possibilities, 9 of Cups. I just heard you are responsible for your own happiness. I just said they're not waking up, right? There's that 5 of Swords again, the Empress, 9 of Cups. What did I just say? I forget what I just said already. Spirit brought it in and went back out. Hierophant in the reverse, 2 of Swords. They are sleeping. Like they are responsible for their own happiness. You are responsible for your own happiness. And I think you're also becoming more aware of the choices that you have. And it's like, you have this very commanding presence right now, Leo, about you that says, I am ready to nurture. I'm ready to grow. I'm ready for this lifestyle that I have wanted for so long, but never felt myself worthy of. And I talked about that stubborn energy, right? That 9 of Cups. And I also think that this is triggering you to recognize where maybe you were very stiff in position in your own mind as like to where you were supposed to be or how it was supposed to work out. You're waking up yourself. Like in the midst of this, you're waking up and you're 10 steps ahead of this person. But having that experience with them is showing you the possibilities of where your life could be, right? Like I could go this direction, I could go that direction. I could have fallen into the trap, and I feel like for some of you too, you've dug yourself out of those traps. Like you had to, and now it's like you got out of one thing. I feel like you really dug yourself out of a rut. They're bringing up 2012, so I don't know what was going on in your life in 2012, but take a look at that time frame. But it's like you dug yourself out of a rut, and you've elevated yourself to this new space that you're in, and you could have been in this particular space for like the last 2 years, right? And now you're evolving again, and you're starting to wake up like how much faster your life is changing, how much quicker you're seeing things, whereas before you didn't see it, and you're paying attention to the connections, how they're affecting your mental health, your mentality, your emotional well-being. Like how are these people adding to your life, or how are they depleting it? Are they energy vampires, or are they truly coming in with words of wisdom and care and compassion for you that adds to your life, or they're teaching you something that's positive, right? So are they bringing in good experiences or bad experiences? It's a new birth, a new life, a new creative endeavor. And it's coming in, and it may feel a little jolting to you, but it's kind of like whatever frustration, aggravation, anger you might have associated with that is where you're channeling that to a positive drive for yourself to make these changes and to stand into your power and conviction of how you're feeling about things. So I think it's a good energy that's coming in, or at least the way you're channeling it is very positive. Stay humble though, Spirit said. Stay humble through it. So it's like kind of keeping yourself in check, Leo. All right, Ace of Cups geez, these cards are bouncing all over the place. Ace of Cups comes out sideways with the Temple Path. Six of Pentacles in the reverse. The Three of Wands comes out kind of funky, and that Five of Swords is on the bottom again. Eight of Swords, Page of Cups. I'm going to say to you, Leo, in regards to relationships, pay attention if you were dealing with a Pisces at some point. Pisces has been all over these readings for some reason. I think you're recognizing maybe where you've held back in relationships. It just could have felt like it was just too hard to like give more of yourself to somebody else. Like no matter what it was a burdensome kind of feel. Like you maybe felt like you were carrying the weight on the world on your shoulders by giving something. And it's kind of like they're giving you, you could have people come to you and try to involve themselves with you, or you could be the one that was trying to involve yourself with them. But the thing of it is like, it always felt like you had to push somehow, or there was a burden attached to the way that the love was presented to you, and it was kind of like holding it at bay going, well, this is nice, now what do I do with this? And Eight of Swords, Five of Swords, overthinking it, overanalyzing it, self-sabotaging the tendency of how these partnerships came in. I will also say to you too, back to this particular person that you may be dealing with, or some of you could be dealing with, the way they come in, it's like they could call you and go, hey, how are you? What's new? And you've got about 30 seconds to speak about what's really going on with you before you have to kind of push it back and go, wait a minute, are they calling for me or are they calling for them? Make sense? So it's kind of like learning the boundary line in those particular situations. This Ace of Cups, this is a learning curve. I say that all the time, but right, like we're always learning. Every situation you should be learning something from, and without fear. They showed me the Five of Swords again and said without the fear. So without the fear of how you're going to get like mugged. When I say mugged, Leo, not physically, but I feel like I don't know, like love, just love in general feels like it's so heavy for you that you leave the heart space and jump straight into the mind aspects of things. And then the people that you're dealing with that are unhealthy, even if you were out of your mind in that regard, they send you straight back into it because it's like, oh my God, I can't listen to this another second. Six of Pentacles in the reverse, the Three of Wands. As a reader, I'm going to say this, and I said this with another sign the other day. I always seen the Six of Pentacles as reciprocal. And lately, for whatever reason, I'm seeing that Six of Pentacles is completely unbalanced. Because if you look at most of the cards, there's a hand out that's receiving. And, you've got the flow sitting there, but what sticks out to me the most is the tangible that somebody is giving to somebody else and someone else is still taking. I've never been a fan of the Six of Pentacles in reverse, but I am going with it this time. I am a fan because what I'm pulling from this Six of Pentacles is where you have been taken from. you are flipping that shit upside down and saying no more. And that Three of Wands is going, standing again, and that you've made a choice. That this is the way this future is going to look. The future is in my hands. The future awaits me. What is out there, I may not know, I may not see, I may not understand, but I am putting a stop to the shit of the past. I am putting a stop to someone taking from me or sucking me dry, or even me taking from myself. And I'm moving on and I'm moving forward. I'm ready. I'm ready for this new adventure. I'm ready for this change. I'm ready to go out and explore, take on the world, or take a stronger look at my path moving forward. The Temple path, what I like about this, the way these two pair up here, you've got the Three Wands and then you've got the three lights of the Temple path. You're recognizing what is important to you. And it's like, if it does not, I say it often, if it doesn't give back, then let it go, right? Like, you're moving on, moving forward from that. But you're realizing how twisted things have been for so long. And it's, again, this whole thing is kind of shedding light on how messed up it's always been. This card was sitting oddly, and it says, learning from the past, making new memories, right? So I feel like, yeah, the runner, fear of intimacy, running away, intensity, and letting go, turmoil, and fleeting. Talked about that self-sabotage, right, earlier. And that's really, again, turning away because the love, the situations, the people, whether it was you walking away from situations because you didn't know how to, it's like almost cowering down and going, okay, I'll listen to this shit again from this person. Or I am going to allow myself to feel a burden to somebody else presenting me with something because I don't know if I'm ready for that. So, running from those things and keeping yourself separate. And what's crazy about it, Leo, and I've seen this for you guys before, is that you really did want to invest in something, and yet you were scared to death of it, afraid of it, right? But I do feel like you're taking on this new energy of conviction that I'm just going to get up and go. I'm going to do a thing, right? And if it means shutting other people off, then I'm going to do a thing. So what else for Leo Spirit? Leo, if you think that I will say this to you, reality check. Cutting this particular person and or situation off, they are going to come back around. It will be a test of your conviction and what you said. Did you truly mean it? Because they're going to come back around, this karmic relationship in the reverse. It's like, you may be done with them, but I don't think they're done with you yet, okay? One more card, please. So it's kind of like your heads up. Abundance, positive mindset, manifest, gratitude, bliss, and blessings. The butterfly, evolving and growth, next phase, healing the inner child, releasing the past. And, you are stepping into a new way of being. You are stepping into what is right for you. Some of you could be dabbling in cryptocurrency and things like that as well. In regards to your pentacles and things like that, you could be traveling, doing some traveling abroad. You could be making investments into yourself so that you can do other things. And maybe you had somebody who was kind of like sponging in a way, so-and-so's friend ended up sleeping on your couch for a while, and you're just like, okay, we're done. Like, you're not responsible for your own life. I let you stay here 3 months. You got to get up off your ass and make shit happen. I can't take care of you, right? Like, whatever this is, it's been very unbalanced for a long time, and now you're stepping out into a new world. Some of you too, Spirit just said, some of you could be moving. Like, you finally got the finances, whether it's to buy a home, buy a car, like whatever this is, but it's going to create forward movement for you somehow as well. So, Leo, that's your message for the week. I hope you found it to be helpful to you. If you did, like, share, subscribe, and comment. It was great to be back with you guys. Your inner child reading will be out before long. So thank you guys for all the way you love and support the channel. I appreciate each and every single one of you. I will see you soon. Bye.